He didn't scream. He didn't beg. He didn't even try to explain himself. He just stood there in the middle of the room, looking at the people he had spent years protecting, providing for, and quietly carrying. And for a moment, it felt like none of them recognized him anymore. Not as a son, not as a brother, not as someone who mattered, just someone inconvenient. So when his mother finally said it, calm, cold, like she had rehearsed it before, "Daniel, maybe it's better if you stop showing up for a while." He didn't argue. He didn't ask why. He just nodded slowly, as if something inside him had already made peace with it. Okay. And that single word was the moment everything began to fall apart. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 36 years old. And for the last 9 years, I've been the reason my family never had to worry about money. Not because I was lucky, because I was the one doing the work no one ever saw. Behind every paid bill, every successful deal, every "we're doing fine" moment, there was me, signing, approving, fixing, while everyone else just lived. To them, life was stable, comfortable, predictable, because I made it that way. And for a long time, I told myself that was enough, that being needed meant being valued. But I was wrong. My father built everything from scratch. A few rental properties, a logistics company that barely survived its first years, investments that grew slowly, quietly, over time. Nothing flashy, but solid, reliable. The kind of foundation that doesn't look impressive until you realize how much it holds together. When he passed away, he didn't just leave money. He left responsibility, and more importantly, control. The entire structure was placed under a trust, and only one person was given full authority to manage it. Me. Not my older brother, who was better with people. Not my younger sister, who everyone adored. Me. Back then, I thought it was a sign of trust. Now I understand. It was a test. At first, I didn't question it. I just stepped into the role, handled the accounts, reviewed contracts, kept everything running. It wasn't glamorous work. It was constant, exhausting, invisible. While my brother traveled between cities, posting pictures from business trips that weren't really business, and my sister shared her perfect life online, I stayed behind, fixing leaks in systems no one else even knew existed. I missed birthdays, skipped holidays, worked weekends, because every time I thought about slowing down, I told myself the same thing. This is what family does. You show up, you sacrifice, you give, even when no one notices. The strange thing about being reliable is that people stop seeing you, not because they forget, but because they expect you to always be there. Every problem I solved became something they never had to think about. Every crisis I handled became something that just worked out. And slowly, my role changed. Not officially, but in reality. I wasn't Daniel anymore. I wasn't a son. I wasn't a brother. I became a system, something that functioned in the background, something that kept everything running. And systems don't get appreciation, they get used. The moment everything shifted was supposed to be a celebration. My mother's birthday dinner, private room, nice restaurant. Everyone dressed like we were a perfect family. My brother stood up, raised his glass, and smiled. Mom, You built all of this for us." The room filled with laughter, applause, warmth. My sister nodded, adding stories about how hard Mom worked. And my mother, she didn't correct them. She didn't even hesitate. She just smiled, accepted it, owned it. And I sat there, holding my glass, realizing something I couldn't ignore anymore. They weren't confused. They weren't mistaken. They had rewritten the story, and I wasn't part of it. I didn't say anything that night. Not at the table, not in the car, not when I got home. Because deep down, I already knew the truth. This wasn't new. It had been building for years. Every ignored message, every forgotten moment, every time my effort was treated like background noise. This was just the first time. It was undeniable. I stood in my kitchen, staring at the wall for a long time, trying to understand something simple. When did I stop mattering? Or worse, did I ever matter at all? That night I sent a message. Not dramatic, not emotional, just honest. "Do you guys even see me?" I stared at the screen, watched the message deliver, watched it turn into read, and then nothing. Minutes passed, then hours. No reply, no concern, no "what do you mean?" Just silence. The kind of silence that answers your question without saying a word. And in that moment, I understood something clearly. If you have to ask if you matter, you already have your answer. The next morning, my phone buzzed. My mother. I opened the message slowly. "Daniel, maybe it's best if you take some space." I read it once, then again, trying to find something behind the words, some emotion, some hesitation. There was none. It was clean, final, like a decision that had already been discussed without me. Below it, a notification. My brother liked the message. My sister didn't say anything, and somehow, that silence felt louder than everything else. Because it wasn't confusion, it was agreement. Something inside me shifted that day. Not anger, not even sadness, just clarity. Cold, quiet clarity. Because for the first time, I stopped seeing them as my family in my mind and started seeing them as they really were. People who benefited from me, people who depended on me, but people who didn't value me. And once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. So I stopped asking questions, stopped expecting anything, and instead, I made a decision. Not emotional, not impulsive, calculated. I didn't call anyone. I didn't argue. I didn't try to fix it. Because for the first time in years, I realized something important. I didn't owe them a reaction. So instead of responding, I went home, sat down at my desk, opened my laptop, and logged into the system that quietly controlled everything they depended on. Accounts, payments, approvals. The entire structure was built to function smoothly, as long as someone like me was behind it. And for years, that someone had been me. But that morning, for the first time, I didn't log in to maintain it. I logged in to step away. The first thing I did was pause the automatic payments, mortgage support, monthly allowances, operational expenses tied to family access. Everything that required my approval stopped, not erased, not destroyed, just suspended, like pressing pause on a machine that had been running nonstop for years. I stared at the screen for a few seconds, waiting to feel something. Guilt, fear, regret. But none of it came. Because deep down, I knew this wasn't revenge. It was reality. They told me to step away, so I did, completely. The silence lasted 2 days. No calls, no messages, no reaction. And for a moment, I almost wondered if they even noticed. But on the third day, my phone lit up. Missed call, then another, then 10, then 30. By the end of the hour, I had over 60 missed calls. Messages started coming in. What's going on with the accounts? Why are payments not going through? Daniel, fix this. Not a single message said, "Are you okay?" I read every message, every voicemail, every missed call notification, and I noticed something that made everything even clearer. Not one of them asked about me. Not one of them mentioned the message. Not one of them acknowledged what they said to me. It was all about the same thing: money, access, control. And in that moment, something inside me finally settled. Not broke, not shattered, settled. I was never the priority. I was the provider, and providers are only noticed when they stop providing. By the end of the week, things started breaking. My brother couldn't access business funds. Deals stalled. Payments failed. My sister's lifestyle, the one she showcased online, started slipping. Cards declined. Subscriptions canceled. My mother began calling the bank directly, trying to reverse the situation, trying to fix the error. But there was no error. Everything was working exactly as designed. The only difference was, I wasn't there anymore. That's when the narrative changed. Suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. I was the problem. He's being selfish. He's overreacting. He's trying to control everything. I heard it through extended family, through mutual contacts, through people who didn't know the full story, but were quick to believe the version they were given. And I understood something else. When people can't control you anymore, they control how others see you. A week later, there was a knock on my door, early morning. I already knew who it was. My mother. She didn't smile, didn't ask how I was, didn't hesitate. You need to fix this. Not, can we talk? Not, I'm sorry. Just a demand, like I was still responsible. I leaned against the doorframe, looked at her, and said quietly, "You told me to leave." She shook her head. "That's not what I meant." And for the first time, I realized how easy it was for them to rewrite reality. "What did you mean then?" I asked. She didn't answer directly. She changed the tone. "You're embarrassing the family." That word, embarrassing, not hurting, not unfair, not wrong, embarrassing, like my existence, was a problem when it didn't serve them. I nodded slowly, because at that point, there was nothing left to argue. "You asked for space," I said. "I'm giving it to you." She stared at me like I had just said something unreasonable. But I hadn't. I was just finally doing what they told me to do. The business didn't collapse overnight. It was slower than that, more painful, like watching something strong slowly lose its structure. Without me, small problems became big ones. Delayed decisions turned into lost deals. Missed payments damaged relationships. Because what they never understood was this: it wasn't the system that worked, it was the person behind it, and that person was gone. Then came the moment they couldn't ignore anymore. A major investor meeting, one of the biggest deals we had been working on for months. My brother showed up confident, prepared. At least, he thought he was, until the questions started. Financial breakdowns, operational details, risk management, and one by one, he couldn't answer them, because those answers had always come from me. The room went quiet. Not the polite kind of quiet, the kind where people start realizing something is wrong. But no one wants to say it out loud. My brother hesitated, looked at the documents, looked at the investors, and then he tried to improvise. But it didn't work, because confidence without knowledge falls apart fast. Questions turned sharper, details became deeper, and within minutes, the truth started showing. He didn't know what he was doing, and for the first time, everyone else saw it too. The deal didn't collapse immediately, but the energy changed. Investors stopped leaning forward, stopped asking, "How do we move forward?" and started asking, "Who's actually running this?" That question hung in the room, uncomfortable, heavy, because no one had a real answer, not one they could say out loud. And in that moment, everything my family had built their image on started cracking. Not because I exposed them, but because I wasn't there to hold it together anymore. That night, my brother called. Not angry, not yelling, just different. "Daniel, we need to talk." I let the silence stretch before answering. "What about?" Another pause. Then finally, "We can't run this without you." Not, "We miss you." Not, "We were wrong." Just the truth they couldn't avoid anymore. And I realized something. When reality hits, people don't apologize. They negotiate. "You told me to step away," I said. "I did." He exhaled. "Yeah, but we didn't think," I cut him off, "that I mattered?" Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable. Because this wasn't about business anymore. This was about something deeper, something they had ignored for years. "You built your lives around me," I continued. "You just never noticed I was the one holding it up." He didn't argue, because he couldn't. And for the first time, I wasn't explaining. I was stating facts. After that call, I had a choice. I could walk away completely, let everything collapse, let them deal with the consequences. Or I could do something else, not for them, for me, because this was never about revenge. It was about balance, about boundaries, about finally correcting something that had been broken for years. So I made a decision, not emotional, not impulsive, deliberate. I didn't destroy the system. I restructured it. Access remained restricted, but the business kept running under new rules, clear ones, fair ones. No more automatic money, no more blind trust, no more silent approvals. If they wanted access, they had to earn it, provide value, show accountability, prove they understood what they had taken for granted. Because for the first time, I wasn't protecting them. I was protecting myself. The change was immediate. My brother tried to adapt, for a while, but responsibility hits differently when you're not used to carrying it. My sister struggled more. The lifestyle she built was never really hers, and without the support behind it, it started falling apart fast. My mother had it the hardest, because for the first time in years, she had to face something real: independence. Reality is quiet at first. Then it gets loud. Bills, deadlines, decisions, the kind of things I used to handle before they even noticed. Now, they had to deal with it themselves. And slowly, the narrative changed again, not publicly, but internally. Because it's hard to blame someone when you start understanding what they actually did for you. Months passed. The chaos settled. Not perfectly, but enough. The business stabilized, smaller, leaner, more honest. And me, for the first time in years, I had space, not just physically, mentally, emotionally. I wasn't waiting for calls, wasn't fixing problems, wasn't carrying anyone else's weight. And I realized something simple. Peace feels unfamiliar when you've lived in pressure too long. Then one night, my phone buzzed, a message, my sister. I'm sorry, just 2 words, no explanation, no excuse, no justification. And somehow, that made it real. Because for the first time, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about control, it was about recognition. And I stared at the screen, longer than I expected. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because for the first time, I didn't have to say anything. I didn't reply right away, not out of anger, not out of pride, but because I needed to understand something. Was this an apology, or just another attempt to restore what they lost? Because there's a difference, a big one. One comes from awareness, the other comes from need. And for years, I had confused the two. I wasn't going to make that mistake again. Here's what I learned through all of this. Being needed is not the same as being valued. People can depend on you every single day and still not see you when it matters. Because dependence is about function. Value is about recognition, respect, presence. And once you understand that difference, everything changes. If you're the one who always shows up, always fixes things, always carries more than your share, ask yourself something honestly. If you stopped tomorrow, what would people notice first? You or what you provided? Because that answer tells you everything. I don't hate my family. That's important. Hate takes energy, and I'd rather spend mine building something better. But I also don't ignore reality anymore. I don't confuse silence with peace. I don't mistake dependence for love. And I don't stay in places where I have to question my value, because I've already lived that life for too long. So let me ask you something. If you had to choose, would you keep the peace and stay where you're not valued? Or would you walk away and finally choose yourself? Type 1, peace, 2, self-respect. And be honest, because sometimes the hardest decision you'll ever make is choosing yourself over the people who only remember you when they need you.